Happy New Year, my sketching friends. I thought I'd send you all a little New Year's gift, something to inspire and encourage through these darker, drearier days of winter. This video is for everyone to enjoy, but it is especially sent out to my friends who nature journal. If you've ever taken a nature journaling workshop with me, you've heard me speak about the idea that keeping a nature journal is not only an art practice, but it is also a spiritual practice and it is a mindfulness practice. By spending time in nature each day and observing and receiving from the natural world, we come into relationship with the rhythms of the natural world and the cycles of the seasons. And that is something that is very grounding for us and very good for us to do. However, it can be a little more challenging during the winter months to keep up with your practice of nature journaling, though it seems like that's the time when we need it more than ever, when we're in the house more and the weather is not as conducive to spending time outside. So I wanted to just share with you in this short little video a little walkthrough of the last few days in my own nature journal and how I managed to put my focus back on nature even during the winter. And one of the things that I do very frequently is to observe the scene outside my windows. We have a number of windows in our house that have views to our yard, our garden, the woods, the bird feeder, and nature is very accommodating. There's always something going on that's different to see. Everything from tracking the sunrise and the sunset to what birds are at the feeder, to observing the woods and weather patterns. So there's always something that you can do, even from the comfort of your own home, by observing nature through the window. And that's what I'm going to show you today. So here we have dawn, 6:45 on January 11th, just a few days ago. And I make a little notation. I love winter's colors, especially at sunrise. I note that there's a new moon in Capricorn. And then I note the temperature and when their sunrise occurs, when the sunset occurs, but also when first light appears and last light for the day, and how many hours of daylight there are. That all is gathered from just a weather app that I have on my smartphone. I make a note of the moon rise and the moon set and how many days until the full moon. Here I write about my materials that I'm using, and what I'm using right now are Tombow dual tip brush markers, which I love. They're water soluble, and so I can go in after I've drawn with them with the water brush and make watercolor type washes. And I can also draw with a non-waterproof marker. This is a Pentel Pocket Brush Pen, and that's what you see here. So I've drawn with something that's not waterproof and then used markers that are water soluble and created lovely watercolor-like washes and layers of color. So I have here a lengthy quote about January, which seemed to absolutely fit what my thoughts were that day. And I won't read it, it is rather lengthy, but these are the sorts of things that I gather in my nature journal. Here I'm writing about the Tombow markers because they're new to me. And so one of the things you can do in your journals is write about the things that you're using, make notes to yourself. But look at the lovely watercolor sort of effects that you get with the markers and a brush pen. And what you see here is what I'm observing are not only the colors of winter, but I'm observing the leaves. Some of the oak trees we have, they don't drop their leaves till spring. And some of the beech trees on our property also have been holding on to their leaves this year. Now, here's a beautiful morning, January 12th, 2016, 7 a.m. Clouds giving way to the sunrise. Smoky earth colors capture this mild winter we are having. Rather than a death-like sleep, the earth seems like she is just taking a nap, light sleep and delicious rest. So you can see some of the watercolor-like effects I can get. But all of these are just observations out my window. January 12th, 2016, 7:15 a.m. In the east, a beautiful plume of pink cloud rises from the dark woods, mysterious and delicate, ethereal, like a gentle nature spirit, a lovely calm start to the day. Something else you might like to do in your nature journal or any sketchbook journal that you're using, and that is do a color chart of either the watercolors you're using or the markers that you're using or the colored pencils that you're using. And that's always helpful to have. And I made a note here, always make a color chart. The numbers are already rubbing off the marker barrel. And you probably saw that when I showed the marker. Pets are also another wonderful thing to sketch, especially in the wintertime. Doggy Dreams, sleeping in the studio, always by my side, Quinn and Molly. And again, I'll show you some of the beautiful watercolor-like effects that you can get with the markers. So your pets are part of nature and you can observe them and draw them too. January 13, 2016, 6:30 a.m. Venus singing to me each morning just before sunrise, passionate and blazing brightly in the dark just before dawn. Pure, clean, sparkling bright light, fierce, cold, mysterious, powerful goddess, singing and singing to the universe an ageless love song. I'll show you that a little bit. You can see, if you're listening, that I get up early and it's a wonderful time. The house is quiet and you get spectacular colors in the sky as the sun rises against the darker tree line. Dark skies giving way to light. Sunrise clouds low over the horizon, pink and peach at their edge. Sun blazing and burning through the dark screen of tree branches. A star so close you can only look with eyes half closed and head averted. And then here, turn the other way to get a longer landscape orientation. Noting sunrise, sunset, first light, last light, the phase of the moon. January 13th, 2016, 1 p.m. Thin ice on the pond, stiff breeze, 28 degrees, north west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, feeling like winter, 9.28 hours of daylight. Here I'm writing about my Tombow markers again and how I'm using them in combination with the Pentel Pocket brush pen and still getting some very painterly effects. And here's today's entry. January 14th, 2016, 8:15 a.m. Light snowfall, 23 degrees overcast. The familiar feel of winter. Welcome back, old friend. So you can see that even just out your own window, outside your own home, in your yard or on your balcony or wherever, you can observe nature and you can still get connected and rooted and grounded and come into relationship with nature, even in the wintertime, even right from your own home inside where it's cozy and warm. So I hope you enjoyed this little look into my sketchbook, and I hope that you will not neglect your sketchbook or your nature journaling practice during these colder months, that you will take some time to be aware and enter into the winter season, even if it's only through your window.